Hello, everyone. We are right in the middle of the second week of our class, and I'm recording this message, and I have two objectives with this recording. In the first place, I'm reminding you that we have the first partial test tomorrow, and the test will be active from 5 p.m. until 11:55 p.m. For this first partial test, you will have only one attempt, and you will have only 1 hour to finish. You should know that once you access the test, you have to complete it because otherwise the system won't give you the chance to go back to it. So it's important you know that. Probably most of you know what this test will be about, and I'm writing here in the news section what you need to study for that test. As you all know, this first partial test is about thesis statements, and in order to be able to understand what a thesis statement for the purpose of this class is, you have to visit the learning object of the first week. Especially, you may want to check from pages 6 through page 8 of the learning object. You have the guide to write a good thesis statement, you have examples, you have the 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 pattern of a thesis statement with a limited subject, an opinion or a claim, and the ideas in the blueprint. So it's important you study this section carefully, and that most of you review or go back to this section again. And I say most of you because I know that there are some students in the class that still haven't visited the first learning object. And this brings me to the second message that I wanted to give you today. The second part of the message that I wanted to give you today is I think it's only fair that you know the way D2L works. You know that D2L is a platform where you have all your contents and you have all the activities, and I'm guiding your work through the weeks as much as I can, and by sending you messages and sending you reminders like the one that I'm sending right now of the things that you need to do to be able to pass my class uneventfully at the end. But I want you to know something important about D2L. D2L, like any other online platform, has a lot of features that are kind of hidden, which I would call behind the curtain. In this case, I want to talk about one in particular that helps me make decisions in my class. D2L shows me, for example, who has visited the different pages in my class, how much time you have spent, and so for every single thing that is in my class, there is an indicator that shows me who has visited those sections and the job that they have been doing. So I'm going to show you in the syllabus and content section. I have a part that is called reports, and they show me exactly the, the work that you have been doing during the week. I'm using the first week as an example because if I show you what you have been doing in the second week, believe me, is moving to tears. In the second week, for example, only 4 students have visited the planner, only 3 students have learned the learning object, and this is just the number of students visiting the different pages. I understand that this is happening now because I know there is a vacation or holiday or a break on the way, and I understand that performance is lower because of the break. But it's important that you know that it is your responsibility to continue with the contents in my class and to do it on your own and to do it successfully. But I'm going back to the first week because it's a better example of the kind of activities and the kind of work that you do in my class. For example, if you check the first week, you realize that 17 students have visited the planner, 16 students have visited the learning object of the week, which is kind of critical because in the learning object of the week is the contents of what you need to study for tomorrow's test. Only 12 students have visited the language corner, 14 have downloaded the resource writing a narrative piece, something that actually is bugging me because you had to read this resource for the first um, writing assignment. and only 14 students did the first self-assessment, 10 the second, 7 the third, and only 6 the fourth, which means that your performance uh, declines as we approach the end of the week. So it's important that you all visit the first learning object if you want to be ready for the test. And this is in terms of the number of visits. But D2L goes um, one step forward, and this is something that I really hate to do because I'm not a police officer. My job is not to be policing my class, but I think it's only fair that you know that this exists. If I click any of these hyperlinks, I have access to the users and how much time they have spent doing the activities in my class. For example, I'm going to be using the first learning object, and I'm going to be moving my uh, the page to the left because I don't want to be exposing names, but I want to show you that I'm not um, that I'm not lying about this. For example, if I check the first the link, which is the learning object of the week. The name of the learning object is the need for rhetoric and writing. Uh, Out of the 28 users, actually 25 because the other users is counting myself, my assistant, and another additional user that I have in my class. Only 16 users have visited the page, and this is really terrifying. I'm going to show you here. I'm not exposing names here, but for example, the first user has visited the page 6 times and has spent 32 minutes in total. And the average time spent every time that he or she has visited the page is 6 minutes and 30 minutes. The second and third user haven't read the material yet, and this is what I'm talking about. And so D2L details here every single visit you make and how much time you spend. I as I said, my job is not to police the class. My job is to teach you and to try to do my best helping you uh, perform properly, but it's important for you to know that this exists. Okay, so please, we are in the second week of the class. I think that this is a fair warning. Do your job, read the material, complete the exercises as I proposed them in the syllabus and in the syllabus and content section. This is an online class, which means that you have to be self-directed. It means that you have to take responsibility for what you do. I'm going to be releasing the writing themes of the course today, and I'm going to be creating discussion groups for you to work with the writing themes. This is for you to have like a head start, for you to know what I'm expecting from you in with the writing assignments. So as I said, the two objectives of this recording, the first one was to remind you of the test that we have tomorrow, and the second one is not an intimidatory message. By no means I want it to sound intimidatory. It's just a message for you to know how the program works, and it's only fair for you to know that I have this tool in my hand. Thank you. Please don't hesitate to contact me if you need anything. As usual, I'm an email away from you.